I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. I can ask everyone to stay standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, 6:30, we have a public hearing scheduled for New Dawn Charter High School.
The public hearing is an opportunity for the public to make a comment at the podium, first come, first served. We'd like to make a comment on the New Dawn Charter High School III. Please come to the podium.
Good evening. I don't recognize many of you, so you may not know who I am. My name is Chris Paredes. I am a teacher of 40 years, with the last 15 years teaching here in Newburgh School District. I am currently a New York State Assemblyman. What does that mean to you? I sit up in Albany and decide on budgets, is what I do, as well as pass bills. The New Dawn Charter High School is an exact replica of what this school district did back in 2013. I don't know if you're aware of it. Okay, we brought in a charter school here. It was called the Newburgh Prep. We were promised a number of things. For instance, it wasn't going to cost this district any money. Guess what? It did. Lots of it. Millions of dollars. And let me just give you some of the numbers, because the proposal of New Dawn is almost exactly the same as the proposal of the Newburgh Preparatory School. And so they opened Newburgh Prep in 2013-2014 school year with 59 students. 31 dropped out. 2014-15, 81 students, 51 dropped out of that school. 15-16, 91 students, 47 dropped out. It goes on for the 4 years that it actually functioned. And I can tell you that if you feel like you have $8 million+ to support something like this, we are already up in Albany looking at $42 billion not being received from the federal government. What does that mean to you? It probably means that we're going to have to find together 15 to 16% of your budget next year, somewhere, somehow. Just to put it in reference, this year we lost $743 million. We can backfill that. But $42 billion, we cannot backfill that in Albany. So I ask you, this is not a time in which to repeat a disaster which has already occurred here in the Newburgh School District. And I will be glad, I hope to meet soon with the superintendent. I will be glad to talk to you more about this charter school that was proposed and the waste of money that it was, that we don't need to do now, at all. Thank you.
So I know that, Mr. French, there's a proposal, a presentation that I want to, present in terms of the public, from the district's perspective, what we're seeing with the New Dawn Charter School. If you could bring that up, I'm going to. Thank you. So from the district's perspective, we can agree more with Mr. Ekus and his sentiments that he brought regarding the proposal for the New Dawn Charter School. Can you scroll down to the next slide? So they are trying to establish a 9 through 12 program to serve under 18 candidate, and the program that he was actually speaking, I immediately thought when I saw this proposal how it mimics some of those aspects of our community. Next slide. So the full impact on the New Durham Charter School coming could have a substantial impact within our overall budget. It is estimated that they can take $9.6 million off the top if they are able to reach full capacity. What that means for us as a district is that there will be additional costs of transportation, special education, textbooks and technology that we would have to fund within this charters. And that $9.6 million that could potentially be given would reduce all services and supports for our current students. We're getting there, yeah. So if we looked, next slide, if we looked at statewide restrictions on fiscal burdens, we can see, even through research, that it does have a huge impact, especially in large school districts and urban environments, and how fiscally it can have a greater impact on our overall budget year to year. They rack public education and resource allotment to students. Next slide. And some of the reasons why we're objecting to this is that one of the components that they are promoting, we already provide as a district. We know that we are on the precipice of opening career and technical education building next year. Internships and work-based learning opportunities are offered throughout our 3 campuses currently. We do have credit recovery programs that we offer our students and have been successful in those that participate. Career and college readiness counseling is provided and had hopes and propositions in front of the board to try to extend those offerings. And alternative educating support throughout the community that we already offer through our equity program. So there's a lot of duplication within this proposal in many of the aspects that Newburgh already provides to its students in its community. Next slide. So we also then looked about academic performance. I know that there's a lot of promises that charter schools may make around academic performance and around how they're able to recruit and retain. And when we do, NISBA actually did a report not too long ago in 2023 that talked about the components of what may be promoted as being done and what actually is being done when it comes to ELA and math proficiency. And it also talks about how they are proficient on their ELA Regents exams. So there's a lot of superior promises in how they can impact student achievement and growth that have been unfounded through research. Next slide. So, we are expressing concerns, and it's definitely something that we will promote up to the New York State Education Department. This is the start of that window. There will be information and availability made if you want your voice to be heard to set up to the Board of Regents. If this is something that is not something that we want for our community, it has an impact on teachers' unions, and we see the validity around some of the programs not being successful. And we need your feedback. We need your feedback to bring to the State Education Department on whether or not these are things that we would like to have for our community. Next slide. We also have to think about equity concerns that come up with charters. I know that it is often said that charters have open doors for all students, but the reality of that is that there is an application process, and many times the out-population of students with disabilities are left out of that. Charters in areas based on the NISBA report, only 5 to 6% of those students with disabilities are out, so there's an equity concern in that. They also counsel out students that are high needs. So if you have a student that is in a high academic need, they often counsel them out of their environment. And we would then be required to serve higher need students with less resources. So we'll have a direct impact about the resources that we could provide our students. Next slide. So we're asking that the community and the board really deny this charter school application because one, we think it's going to be a significant financial burden if they are able to. It is a very big duplication of services, especially as we are on the horizon of opening our CTE building. There's no proven academic advantage to a charter school, and it really risks our community being open to inequities within our current program. That's it. Okay, next slide. So what this is in the timeline, just so that everyone is aware, tonight we're having our public hearing, we're hearing concerns, we're making our initial statements. Public comments will be accepted by NYSED up until September 22nd. And at the November Board of Regents, there will be an action to vote whether or not this is approved or not. We will have resources on our main website if you would like to have your position be heard. You can definitely, there'll be writing resources and the official district statement on the website as well. Thank you.
Next, we have other board members that would like to comment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm so glad you gave that report, Ms. Peterson. And I also like to concur with our Assemblyman, Mr. Ekus, who gave a great presentation. He's so correct. I was here in 2014 when the other charter school tried to come into existence, and Assemblyman Ekus did state it was a flip and switch on us. And I received so many calls over the weekend from individuals in this community, individuals from the district, who really wanted to make their voices heard, but they felt that the timing was a short timing to let them know that we were doing this tonight. Is there any opportunity, will there be any opportunity other than before the timeline that goes to the state education department for them to voice their concerns? And I say that to say this. I would hope that if we have an opportunity to put that meeting together, that meeting video can be sent to Region 10, because she's the one that represents our area, and based on what Ms. Peterson put up, I think that she's going to forward that to Region 10. But I think Region 10 needs to hear from the community. She needs to hear from our district workers, our teachers, the NT, the unions, the parents in the community, because everything that Ms. Peterson put up on that PowerPoint is so true. And what's sad is this: when they start promoting what they're going to do, it's heavily promoted in the community. The community hears their version of what this is about. But the true version, what Ms. Peterson stated, what Assemblyman Ekus stated, is what they need to hear. And when you hear the false narrative and you don't get something to counter that, then they start believing the false narrative. This presentation, what Ms. Peterson gave this evening, should be something that's flooded in our community, flooded in our districts, flooded to our parents, and let them know and understand what the impact of bringing that charter school here would mean to our community, would mean to our district, and would mean to our employees, not just our teachers, because they're coming after teachers too. And in the biggest lie they told, as Mr. Ekus stated, they weren't supposed to come after our students before. They were supposed to be going after students who had already been out on the streets that quit school, but that morphed into them coming after our students, and that wasn't a good look. So we do need to understand the impact of what this will have on our district, on our budget, and I would love, if it's possible, for us to have another hearing where we can have the people speak, so that it could be a part of the video that we can send to Region 10.
Mr. Levinstein, and then
So, yes, Mr. Ekus was crystal clear on how, if this goes forward, it could affect our district. But I'm not sure if he was crystal clear on who is requesting this. The Newark district and the Board of Ed is not requesting this charter school to come in. We do not want that. This is something that the same with the previous. We don't think it's a good idea for the reasons you laid out, but it's not up to us. Legally, we are required to have this hearing, and what happens is the state education department is the one that makes the decision based on comments and the proposal put forward by this group. So I just want people to realize, it kind of implied like we asked them to come and do this. No, we did not, and no, we do not want it. And I believe I can speak for individually and the board that this was not our intention, and it never was, and we hope that they decide not to bring it forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I think some of the confusion lies in, they have a 600-page charter document where they make it sound really good, and like, when they met with district officials, they were well received, I think was the way they put it. And, you know, reading through parts of that document, they wanna pull from our local talent teachers, which, you know, we could use. It's very similar in the way that they write it to what NFA West is doing with internships. We have the new CTE building. So even though, you know, it's not our decision, I'm wondering if we can put together more communication that we can send to NYSED, and the Board of Regents, letting them know that it's not something that we support here.
So this is a very tight timeline, so charter schools have the opportunity to apply. Districts are notified, within a certain timeline, we have to have a hearing, and then there has to be community responses. This public hearing is literally a transcript, must go to the state education department, with other comments, from the community. If there needs to be solicitation from the community, not solicitation. There needs to be comments or anything from the community that they would like the Regents board to take into consideration. This is the time, this is our community time to say, no, we do not want this, and this is why. There will be resources provided on the website as per the process. We have to post the recording of this, and it's a very kind of structured process. So this is the start of the 30 days. If board members or community members would like to write, that information will be provided on the website, and that information can be given, and you can write and put whatever comments you want for the region to have in consideration. I do feel that it is a duplication of the many programs, and the coming of this charter school will put those programs in jeopardy.
Mr. Howard.
Okay, so as I asked, I'm gonna ask again, are we limited to this meeting? Or can we have another hearing process where, as you stated, the Board of Regents will see that this community is not in favor of this? They will hear from the community, they will hear from our employees, they will hear from our teachers, they will hear from board members, and it will be a part of the film of that night's meeting that you will send to Regent Ben or send to the State Education Department. If that can't happen, what is the next plan to make sure that those concerns are heard and are felt at the state education level?
So David, correct me if I'm wrong. If there is one public hearing that we have to have within the prescribed deadline within New York State, so New York State notifies us, we have a certain timeline to have that. The district was notified in the middle of, at the end of July around this, so there was 30 days, and I have to have a public hearing within that time, and we have close to a month. So if there's other things that we must do, we can check legally if we can do that, at another meeting to put as a part of our comments, but within a certain amount of time, I have to have a public meeting, and we have to. Many of the transcripts, I don't know, there may be more people in the community that wanted to speak and discuss, they can speak and discuss this now, and this transcript will be a part of the district response to this packet. Am I right, Mr. Chair?
I don't know that there's much legal precedent for this, but if you wanted to have another public hearing, go ahead and have it and submit the information to the Board of Regents.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
If I may say, when we choose that date, we need to promote it vigorously, so that this place is packed.
Thank you. As a final comment on this, inside this, and Ms. Peterson alluded to it, is a CTE component. And we're about exactly a year away from opening a building that's costing the community in excess of $75 million. And to have somebody come into the community and try to siphon away students, resources, et cetera, is bad for every single person sitting in this room and this entire community. We've worked hard, and there's a huge investment in that building that people have made, and you see it in your tax bill. So I vigorously oppose this. Thank you. Would anybody else like to comment? Mr. Burke.
Thank you. I know it wouldn't really be binding or anything, but if this video is gonna go out, then can we take a ceremonial vote on how the board would vote on this? Because, you know, it seems like everybody says to say no, we don't want this.
Is any board member in favor of this? By show of hands?
Is there anybody else that would like to address the board on the public hearing for the new Dawn Charter High School? Please come to the podium.
So for the benefit of the state, if you're recording, good evening, acting superintendent, board president, vice president, board members, and parents. My name is David Ryan, and I've lived in Newburgh and New Windsor since 1973. And like the rest of you, I'm here tonight to oppose the new Dawn Charter High School, primarily because of who is trying to bring it here. This is a contract for over $8 million per year. This is not about education. This is about lining someone's pockets. The key proponent, Melanie Collins, Cowboy Melanie from Carter Avenue, has a record of demand that demands scrutiny. On June 17th, she met directly with the acting superintendent and other key decision makers regarding this new school. Now, I know we're obligated to have that meeting, but she got a warm reception according to what I've heard also.
Point of order.
This level of access, excuse me, I am a citizen and I'm allowed to speak. I have a First Amendment right to my speech.
Excuse me, I just want to correct something for the community at large. There was no such meeting, and this is not who I met with in reference to New Dawn Charter School, so
Respectfully, in that charter document, it says so.
I met with, but I did not meet with Mrs. Collins, I met with the representatives from New Dawn, and Mrs. Collins had nothing to do with that. So I want that stated for the record, that is not who I met with.
Misinformed.
Right, you are, and I'm clarifying that clearly
And I appreciate
because
you doing so.
that did not happen
because
or
of the
occur.
past.
By law, I'm required, the district is required to have initial meetings. Those initial meetings happen as per law. Those meetings were not with Mrs. Collins, and that should not be promoted at all.
You should know that the word on the street is that she got a.
Point of order, we should not be saying people's names.
It's a matter of public record. She's in that document that we looked at earlier this evening. I'd like to continue,
Excuse me, please, we can continue. Please be very careful with what you say.
Sure.
All right, because you're the one at the moment putting it out on the street. Not everybody read a 609-page document.
Well, I did.
Okay, thank you.
So, thank you. So, again, I'll skip that thought since there wasn't that level of access. But the reason why I'm concerned is, and she's directly involved, is because on August 12th, a shooting occurred right at her home.
Excuse me, sir.
This is a person who is documented in this document as an applicant. And I want the state to know how opposed I am to this applicant being any part of this school. So I appreciate
Mr.
that.
President, this is
What I
a
have to say.
violation of policy. In this speech.
Excuse me, I am a citizen, I have a right to speak. Just like you said that somebody else when you were being so rude. So excuse me, please. So ask yourself.
Excuse me 1 second, please, just as a correction to everyone, this is a public hearing.
Yes,
All right, different rules, so please continue.
yes. So ask yourself, who truly benefits? Not the kids, not the parents, just a few who are gonna line their pockets. Thankfully, this board sounds like they're gonna do the right thing. Just so you're aware of who this applicant is, she was also behind the High Point project right around the corner from here, which failed miserably. No, sir, this person is documented in the document we provided to the public. I am speaking to you, I know you're frustrated, but I'm speaking to you about somebody that is going to have a first-hand access to our students and our dollars, and that is unacceptable. And I've spoken to hundreds of people in this community that feel it's unacceptable, but none of them are teachers, and they are afraid to come here because they don't want to be retributed.
Point of order, Mr. President. Let him slander people on his own time.
I'm not saying anybody.
You are making slander
I'm
statements.
speaking facts. You want to question slander, Mr. Howard?
Excuse me, you first of all, you address the chair. Secondly, please hold on for a second. Mr. Shaw, if you can comment, we within bounds here, or we out of bounds?
This is a public hearing, he has a right to speak, he goes at his own risk.
God bless America.
Information.
Absolutely. Because if anyone wants to dispute that there was a shooting at the applicant's house, then we can discuss that. So tonight is our chance to protect our students. Don't let reckless leadership, personal gain, and political favoritism put children at risk. Say no to the new Dawn Charter School 3. Say yes to safety, transparency, and responsibility, and responsible use of public funds. Our children deserve better. Our community deserves better. I am so pleased to hear that you are going to tell the state to tell them where they can stick it, because this place does not need a charter school and $8 million going out the door. We see money going everywhere else in the state. We'll get to that later. Thank you. Have a good night.
Anybody else who'd like to address the board in the public hearing, please step to the podium.
Hi, I just want to make a few comments about it. We did, I don't know if we can compare this to Ann Street, if that's fair. But we did try numerous ways, and Mr. Egas had brought up numerous ways in which we've tried to use this way in order to help our students. And what worries me is where we are pulling the faculty from. We already have issues in our faculty, especially in the exceptional learners department, and gaps in areas that we really need those teachers in our district. And I wonder about what faculty would be used at the charter school, and where are you pulling the students from? Is this gonna be students that have AIS, that are in, that have low grades, that have behavioral issues, like where are the students gonna be pulled from, that you're gonna be adding to these charter schools if this does move forward? My concerns are the students that are gonna be separated from the regular normal routines that they have in the school district that they have, and the supports that they have in the buildings that they currently have. I think that we definitely have problems with our graduation rate. We definitely have issues with in our buildings, and each building needs supports, and I don't think that this is a way to support, is to take away from places that we need to be filling in. We need to be filling our cups, not emptying our cups, and we need to be filling our students, not taking our students and displacing them. It's similar to kind of segregation. We're moving kids into one building, into one charter school, and for what reason and what focus. They should be among the other students in the buildings that we have, and further support our buildings, and again, support where is needed in our district. And I'm hoping that the board can see this as a review of what supports that we currently need, and not ways in which would hurt our district, pulling our students away, pulling our faculty away.
Mr. Shaw, can you speak to this? I know we don't usually go back and forth, but I just wanna, can I say something about what was just previously said?
I think you
No,
should
board
allow
member,
the
anyone
public
to speak?
to finish its speaking, then we can make a comment.
Sure. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Matteo Dallo, I'm one of the co-principals of Newburgh Free Academy. It's kind of been said already. Mr. Ekas, thank you for coming tonight and expressing that. I just pulled something out about Newburgh Prep. It's something I had actually, I keep everything, I do with my office at files and files. So it's interesting to hear that it looks like we're all on the same page on something, right? Which is great, It's very important that we're all on the same page. This is, no matter who's involved, and I think that I appreciate the fact that it was stated that we're not the board that's in favor of this or bringing this forward, that there is a process and we have to speak up. And I also appreciate that we're going to have another meeting so that we can actually communicate even further and give as much information as possible to the state to make the right decision. But it is not something that we need here in Newburgh. As an L student, you know, I do want to say this when it comes to charter schools. we are gonna get into a situation, and Ms. Peterson, brought this up already in her presentation, that it's not about, it's gonna be presented a certain way. So it's not about the way it's presented, it's what actually happens. And we have evidence of that with Newburgh Prep and what has happened before in our district. So I want to make sure we all understand that, and I don't want to use the word burden because it sounds negative, but we will then take on a certain burden if we go through with this. And what will happen is we will then have to, I use the word fight harder in our classrooms, in our schools, in order to make our students successful. We already have conversation about graduation rates, we're already having conversation about a lot of things. But I'm glad to see and hear that we're all on the same page on this. I appreciate you trying to take the ceremonial vote, because I think that's really important. And I really truly appreciate the fact that we are making a point that it's not the Board of Education that's doing this. And Mr. Howard, thank you for pushing the issue with having another meeting, because I think at this point, we need another one to be more prepared and to be able to bring information forward that the state can make the informed decision it needs to make. One of the things that I thought about in asking to speak tonight is what we don't want to do is I started feeling that we would weaken our schools by doing something like this. And Newburgh is a very powerful, it's a very unique school district. No matter our disagreements, we are a unique school district that supports a lot of families. Now, if you remember, those of you that have been around long enough, we had neighborhood schools, right? However, even though we don't have neighborhood schools anymore, we still think and we still foster that, because our communities, our schools are part of our communities. So you might not go to South Junior like I did, right? Now you might get, moved to, or you pick in another school because you have lottery, but you're still part of that community. And that's what makes Newburgh special. So the charter school will not make Newburgh special. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much. I will be back at the next meeting with more additional information as one of the many speakers. Hopefully we'll have a lot of speakers. And we'll be able to give the state as much information as possible to make the right decision. Thank you so much.
Good evening, sorry, it's not afternoon. My name is Tamika Stewart, I'm a resident here in the city of Newburgh. I'm so happy to hear that everyone is on the same page in regards to the charter school. I think that the presentation that Ms. Peterson gave is excellent, very concise and clear to the point. Is it possible for us to get some information to disseminate to the public that, it has the same message on it and the same information, so that we can do our job in the community to make sure that people get the information and they show up at the next public meeting. So wherever that is, you can point me to it, and that's fine. I just want to make a statement really quick. The state has always pushed charter schools into other districts and they fail. They deplete the resources from that district and they get to cherry pick the students that come to those schools. It is not what the district here has the option to do. So I am always opposed to anything that you get to cherry pick students, because that means you get to cherry pick your team, and you get to cherry pick the best students, and the students that have learning disabilities and students that have special needs. Those are the ones that they don't want and they push to the side. So I am definitely not in favor of it. It has been shown across the state that charter schools do this, and the percentage of them failing and the percentage of them actually doing a disservice to vulnerable student populations is really great. So please, if we can get any information that this district can provide us with, I would be happy to disseminate that in the community.
I just want to correct the information, and I will be refuting something in the report that was provided by New Dawn, just so there's complete clarity on what I did and who I met with. So I met with Lisa DiGatto from New Dawn Charter School here, in the district. The way the paragraph is written, it is unclear. If you look further within the document, there is a meeting with other community partners as is required as a part of the process. But in my meeting, I met directly with the New Durham Charter School to speak about the program. At no time, I always prefer, and even within the report, Newburgh programs, Newburgh staffing, Newburgh teachers, Newburgh outreach from this school district. Because I know when it comes to equity and inclusion, when it comes to providing services from prepared professionals and educated teachers, it comes best from this institution. So at no point was I in agreement, and I will put that in my official response as I peruse through the application. Was it ever said by me that I welcome New Dawn within Newburgh?
Is there anybody else that would like to address the board during the public hearing for New Dawn Charter High School?
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. So, I just wanted to clarify something that was said by a community member, because this is all very confusing. Even if you are an educator, it's still, if you're not in the know, it can be confusing. And as educators and union members, it is our job to educate other people. So, it was brought up that this could be compared to Ann Street, and it can't be, because Ann Street was a program that was for alternative education, sponsored by our school district. It was affiliated, it was our school district, right? This has no affiliation with our school district. A charter is a way to privatize education, it's a way to union bust, it is a way to hire and fire teachers based on pay, it is a way to hire not highly qualified certified educators, all with the bait and switch that they're gonna promise great graduation rates, which as was stated by another community member, they do, and Ms. Peterson, they do get to cherry pick their students, and their grad rates and their test rates are not accurate because they're not dealing with the population that we're dealing with, and they're also funneling funds away from what we have here at our tax base. And we, as Mr. DeRay stated, we are opening up a huge CTE center. I don't think that there's anywhere in the state that can compare to what we're doing here. We're offering more in-house than BOCES does, and to have someone come in without the qualifications that our institution has and try and take money away from that, that's not the same. So I just wanted to clarify that it is not like anything that we offer here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowling. There's no further comments? Public hearing is closed. Thank you. Unfortunately, we were not able to finish executive session, and we will be returning. Be resolved that the Board of Education hereby recesses into executive session for the following purpose: matters made confidential and deferred, matters leading to the employment of particular employees or corporations, employment history of employees or corporations, collective bargaining under the Taylor law, and to obtain advice from legal counsel. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay? Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Belletti?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.